Hello there. You're listening to the Box Office Show. I'm Ryan Hill.
And I'm Dylan Johnson. Today we're going to talk about the box office numbers from last weekend and our box office predictions for this upcoming weekend.
We'll also be doing the 2026 edition of the Box Office Draft. Can Dylan continue his reign of terror over the box office? Will finally championship come home?
I gotta actually get a belt for this. This is too epic. It's turning into the WWE, man.
It is. We're going to need to start incorporating walkouts.
Yeah.
And, we need to suplex you. We'll need to arrange that.
Suplex me?
Oh, yeah. When I take it back. Yep.
I'm gonna pile drive you, brother.
How dare you? I'll Batista bomb you. How about that?
Do not Batista bomb me, bro.
I could not if I tried. I would do the 619 though. That one, that's a fun move. I get to fly around the ring. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
All right, let's do our box office breakdown for February 27th to March 1st. Scream 7 with a whopping 63 million, becoming the biggest opening in that franchise by almost 20 million. Who would have thought?
That's awesome.
People, they wanted to see Sydney back apparently. So
Yeah. Also, there's not much else out right now. They're just dominating because it's the February season, you know? There's just not much else out. But good for them. It's the only horror movie out there. But they did it. Scream is alive and well. Wes Craven, his spirit is very much delighted. In second place was the GOAT basketball movie GOAT with 12 million.
we have Wuthering Heights for 6.7 million,
21 Pilots, More Than We Ever Imagined, 4.3 million.
followed by Epic, the Elvis Presley in concert movie, 3.5 million.
And Chris Hemsworth's Crime 101, 3.4 million.
I Can Only Imagine 2, 3.1 million.
Send Help, 2.8 million.
Zootopia 2, 1.5 million. Dylan, you missed it, but it did officially beat out Minecraft to be the number one movie domestically of last year. So
You goddamn right it did.
congrats once again.
And then to round out the top 10, How to Make a Killing, 1.5 billion.
All right, now we got box office predictions from March 6th to the 8th. Pixar coming out with a new original film, Hoppers. Dylan, what do you think this one is going to get?
I'm hearing some hype around this one. It's Pixar. Usually their original products, as of late, they kind of let bomb for whatever reason. You know, we've seen that trend, you know, Onward and Elementals and things like that. But I think I've heard good things about Hoppers. I think they're done, hopefully, with that trend. They're going to try and boost all their movies, their originals and their sequels. And I think this was going to do like 45.
All right. Yeah, I think it'll start out really solid, and then we'll have some great holds throughout the spring season. So we'll see how high
Yeah.
it gets. But yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of good things, so I might have to go and check it out. It does seem like a cute idea, so that's one to be on the lookout for. But perhaps not one for our draft for the 2026 box office. This one will be an interesting year for sure, for a few different reasons. One of which is you've gotten so arrogant in your victories that you haven't even done research. Obviously, it's because you're busy, but
We can call it arrogance, yeah. We could also call it I forgot we were doing this today.
the WWE storyline is that you've gotten so arrogant that you didn't do any research, and so you're coming in off the cuff.
I barely even know what movies are coming out next year.
Exactly. You're like, I'm gonna draft. Let's draft Batman, the Batman 2. It's like, sir, that's not coming out. So we'll see how that affects things. But yeah, we'll first go over the rules. Just make sure you're well aware of that, Mr. 3-time winner in a row.
Yeah, I
So
totally forget the rules.
5 films per roster. We'll do a coin toss in order to see who will pick first, and then we'll bounce back and forth until we each get our 5.
Hmm.
As always, if a film drops off the roster for whatever reason, COVID, strikes, acts of God, or random delays specifically targeted to make me upset, Dune 2, you can replace it with another film that has yet to come out in the year. And then also we have one wild card pick where, for whatever reason, we can drop a film, regardless of whether it's come out or not, in order to select another film that has yet to release sometime later in the year. And then as far as the duration, so we can, if it's a tight race, if it needs to, we can go up until the completion of the first week in the second month of the following year. But if there's a big blowout, again, we can stop it at any time. But yeah, if there's another tight race, we can allow it to go all the way up until whatever that weekend happens to be. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you were really stretching out last year.
We had to wait. We had to wait and see. But ultimately, again, it
I thought it was pretty
working
clear
in your favor. So,
I thought it was pretty clear.
well, yeah, at a certain point, yeah. But for most of January, it was still like, oh, could it pick up steam? And then no, it couldn't, unfortunately. So, yeah, those are the rules. So we'll
Yeah.
dive into it. Actually, let's throw a new rule out there, even though this will not come into effect since, I mean, maybe in your research you did it.
Okay.
Again, only American films are allowed to be drafted, but I think we can start looking forward to make an exception for anime films out of Japan specifically.
Okay.
Since
Would
Demon
you like to do
Slayer's
that this
popped
year?
up not once but twice. And so I don't know, let's put on the table. Do we want to have that happen this year or next year?
Let's put that into effect next year because I haven't done any prep for this year.
Yeah, it would not affect anything this year because
I didn't think so. I didn't see
if there's
anything.
any film.
But I think that's a good rule to include for next year because you're right. That is something that has become very relevant culturally, domestically, and is definitely something that we are reporting on constantly here in the domestic box office, which should affect our box office draft. Even though obviously the international box office comes into play very significantly in the draft, I think we've always been a domestic box office show, and so it's the reason why we don't include the Chinese films in our draft.
Yeah, it's just because again, though, it's a whole different market. Even Nisha 2 didn't make very much money over here. It's just kind of impossible. I mean, I guess we could like scour it and look, but then it's like now we're commenting on movie that
Chinese Reddit
either not going to see it all, Chinese Reddit, whatever the Chinese version of TikTok is. Go in there and see what the box office show version over there is saying. So yeah, it just, I don't think it'd be as compelling, right? Because we wouldn't have any investment in any of those films and being able to track them. So we will still not be including any Chinese films or any other films. Again, no other films would really be able to have potential to end up on the top 10 lists. But I think it's happened twice now where an anime film has been in the top 10. So we gotta start including it.
I would agree. I think we can institute that in 2027.
All right. So another shakeup coming down the line. But let's do this coin toss.
Oh, great.
What's going to happen?
You got it?
I got it?
Oh, no, sorry. I got it. Let me set it up.
I'm wondering what I should do here for the coin toss.
You've won like the last 3 coin tosses in a row, I think, which is what's
all the help that's been for last year.
Yeah. But it's crazy. You keep winning them, and I keep losing the coin toss, and it like almost fucks me over. Almost.
Yeah. So we'll see. What is this time? I'm thinking of shaking up what I call. Let me know when you're ready, though.
Yeah, I'm ready. Call it.
I'm gonna go with.
Call the coin.
I'm gonna go with tails.
He's going with tails. Let's find out. It's heads.
Brutal.
Oh, man.
Truly brutal.
They just want me to win again.
They do.
This one's, I will say, going into this year, especially without having done a lot of research, this one is tough. Like, it's going to be a close race, I think, in terms of number one. And so it's hard to pick a number one.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they're still clear as normal. Clear top 2.
I would say a top 2, but between the two, I don't know.
There's a lot of heavy juggernauts. This one, I think for sure, is going to be like the highest grossing year, unless 1 or 2 does happen. But there's also like, it's a clear top 2. I think a clear next 6. You could arrange in any order, and then after that, there's another 6 that are all like crazy things could happen. You don't know
Yeah,
which one is actually gonna like pull it off. So that's even
I
more
agree.
concerning because I don't know. You tend to have better luck with picking these
The randoms,
outside
yeah.
outside things. So I don't know. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
pleased that you won the first
Ryan,
one.
thoughts on losing 3 years in a row? What's your headspace going into this draft right now before we start picking?
I mean, I didn't do a crazy amount because again, I was like, and ultimately, I think the coin toss is going to be pretty decisive this time.
Uh-huh.
And so one day last week, while I was in a tutoring session where they were just doing all this practice work, so I just had free time, so I was just like, just write down all the things. So again, I wasn't even actually doing like research to look at the comparisons and stuff. All I was looking at was the release dates and then what films I remembered and being like, okay, let me
Mhm.
game out if I win the coin toss, which I didn't even finish because again, I had a feeling that I was like, I think he's gonna win. So I was like, I need to fill out my strategy for if he
Mhm.
wins the coin toss. And ultimately, I don't know. I think I may shoot myself in the foot, but I'm gonna follow my heart.
Yeah.
I think that's what matters. So we'll see how that plays out for me. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm coming into it more chill. I'm just like, whatever happens, happens.
Mhm.
Been beaten down 3 times, 3 different ways of you coming back with insane Barbenheimer pools or this Utopia overperformance. So I'm just like, you know what? We're gonna ocean waves, Bob.
Ocean
Let it
waves,
happen.
Bob. Ocean waves, Bob.
So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
How are you feeling with your 5 to 10 minutes of research? What does that
Um,
entail, by the way? Were you just looking at
I needed to know which movies were
varieties
coming out this year.
top 20?
I just ran through a couple of Reddit posts and a couple of other posts and saw which movies were coming out and which were the most likely top 15, and then I just gamed out in my head which ones I thought would make the most money
Interesting.
and lined them up in a list, and then I threw some wild cards in here. And so if we get later on in the draft, depending on what you start picking, I might throw in a wild card just to make it more interesting. So we'll see. All
Compelling.
right, it is time for the 2026 box office draft.
Yeah.
My number one pick. I am between two here. I know if I pick one of them, you're going to pick the other one. I think I'm going to hope that the odds are in my favor here. I'm going to go Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Wow. Wow.
I know what you're going to pick now.
I'm picking Avengers Doomsday.
I know you are. I know you are. Let me start writing this down before I forget.
Your own picks or
Both.
both of ours? Yeah, because I have the document ready as well for
Okay, perfect.
our selection.
My number two pick,
Yes.
the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
I'm going to kill myself. Okay. Sounds gonna be huge.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Then my next pick. Again, this is the one I was mulling over so much because I was like,
Mhm.
this can't keep getting away with it. And so,
I know what you're going to pick.
well, we'll talk more about the logic behind it.
Mm-hmm.
See if it pays off. Toy Story 5.
I knew it. It's a good pick. I'm going to go Minions 3. I need a couple more locks.
Wow. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I have it on my paper. Again, I picked out. I literally first two would be Avengers and Spider Man. Second would be Mario and Toy Story, and then Minions and this other film would be the next. And yet now I'm doubting.
Ooh,
And doubt.
doubt.
I won't doubt.
He won't
I will,
doubt.
I will trust in my goat. I'll trust in the hype. We're going the
Oh,
Odyssey,
I knew it. Dude, we have the same list right now. This is crazy.
which
I
makes
was
this
hoping I
next
could pick the
pairing
Odyssey.
very interesting. But again, it was like they're in pairs. They get very clear, and then towards the end, it's going to be: will I go with my heart or will I shoot myself in the foot? We'll see. We'll see when you get there.
I'm gonna
Your
go.
next pick.
I'm gonna go Supergirl.
Okay. Very fascinating. Very fascinating. I'm gonna go with Moana.
Okay, good
Live
choice.
action
Good choice.
Moana.
I was between those two. That was the next pairing that I was between, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go Supergirl on this one. Oof. Should I do a wild card? If I do a wild card, this is the problem about being first though. Is my last one? If it's a wild card, it gives you the opportunity to take something good.
True.
Man, I kind of want to do it though. It feels like a bad choice. I just don't know what you're gonna pick. God. I feel like after Supergirl, I should pick a lock instead of a wild card, but I don't know.
How many locks
I know
are
if I
there?
pick this wild card, I know what you're gonna pick, and then I'm not gonna be able to pick it later.
Mm.
What I like about picking a wild card in the draft is it's something that comes out earlier in the year, and if it flops, I can just pick another one. But if you pick that
Right.
other one that I'm gonna get, then I'm fucked.
True.
And you already have Avengers. Damn it. I'm gonna go with a lock. I'm gonna pick Dune 3.
Wow. Wow. We got Doomsday on the table. Okay. Then I'm gonna pick your wild card of Michael.
That was not my wild card.
Oh, really? Interesting.
My wild card was The Devil Wears Prada 2. But I think that's just going to be a domestic juggernaut. I don't think it's going to do numbers internationally, which is why I did
that would be my curiosity: is how popular is that worldwide? I think
Probably
it will be
not.
huge hit here, but not Barbie levels.
Yeah,
So,
no, I didn't think so either.
Okay, interesting.
I'm pretty confident in my list.
I feel very good. I feel better than I thought I would. But honestly, I needed you to take Dune away from me, because that was the thing that I was saying was like, what should I do? Because there were two ones I wanted to choose, and I was like, I don't know. Dune coming out the end of the year scares me so much. It seems like they're committing to it, but I can't let it happen.
I'll take the risk.
So
I'll take the risk.
Right. Let's review the list. So we'll go in order again.
Mm-hmm.
Top picks. So what did you have?
I picked Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I picked Avengers Doomsday.
I picked the Super Mario Galaxy movie.
I picked Toy Story 5.
I picked Minions 3.
I picked The Odyssey.
I picked Supergirl.
I picked Moana.
I picked Dune 3.
And I picked Michael. So fascinating list.
Dude, if you make money on Michael, I'm going to be pissed. Okay, after last year.
That would be the Dune.
I hope Michael flops.
I hope not. But here's so let's talk about it. So Avengers versus Spider-Man. Why'd you go with Spider-Man? I'm shocked. I'm stunned.
I'm nervous about the quality of Avengers, even though they are bringing back everybody. I'm still nervous about the quality and the overall appeal of the MCU at this point. I think it's going to do really good numbers, of course. I think it's going to get close to like $1.5 billion, But I think Spider-Man also has that potential, and I don't think the Spider-Man movies have ever faltered in terms of like fan satisfaction specifically. And so I think people will come out for Spider-Man in the middle of the summer. I think they're going to be so hype on it. And I'm also worried. I was looking at the release date. Avengers is at the end of December. If it gets pushed, it's pushed into 2027. I don't think it's going to get pushed at this point. I think they're locked in. But for my number one movie to be that close to the end of the year scares me. It always has. And that's usually where they are, too. That's where the Avatar movies always are. It scares me.
And No Way Home back in 2021 was there.
December.
Yeah, it is slightly frightening, but they delayed it once already. I don't think they're going to do it again. And they're already
I don't think so either, but I didn't want to put my entire roster on that because it's between Spider-Man and Avengers, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll look at the next pairing after that. But definitely, so Spider-Man No Way Home obviously was an insane juggernaut. And it's like how much of that was the appeal of the three Spider-Men coming together, all the villains coming together. It being, in that COVID season, it was the first real massive movie.
Yeah.
Again, that was one that like saved theaters. If we're talking about the ones that like really brought everyone back. So it made at the end of it's around like 1.9 billion. Insane. If China were involved, it would have made 2 billion.
Yeah.
So you have to wonder, China's on the table now. I don't know what they're feeling like with Spider-Man, but again, their Hollywood relationship has not been the strongest outside of Avatar and Zootopia. So
no, of course,
what happens there, but Yeah, so Spider-Man, as you said, very well beloved. Like this trilogy by everyone, like fans, and then even the critic response, like all of them, I think are still over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Um, and so yeah, people love Tom Holland. They're interested in seeing what goes on. Again, there's been no trailer yet, which is kind of crazy. Um, it's got to come out this year for sure, but it's also got a new director at the helm. They're going back to the larger MCU thing rather than keeping it a little more grounded, which may work in its favor of bringing more people in. But
hmm
I don't know. We'll see. But again, Spider Man's always been a hot ticket, so
yeah.
it's definitely going to do well. So you're saying what's the prediction? Over a billion for sure. I think we're both confident in that.
I think over 1.5
Over 1.5. I don't know about that.
for Spider-Man: Brand New Day. I think so. I think Avengers and Spider-Man: Brand New Day cross 1.5.
Homecoming got like 800 mil. Far From Home got somewhere between 1.1 and 1.2. Again, No Way Home was a crazy juggernaut. But
I think there's enough desire and appeal for a Spider-Man movie at this point, without seeing Spider-Man for so many years. Because think about it, like No Way Home, of course, had the appeal of the other Spider-Man coming back, but now it's been since then was the last time we saw any Spider-Man anything
well,
except for Spider-Verse, and I think people are in demand for Tom Holland Spider-Man, and I think people will come out to see it.
right. Now, in addition to that, Avengers Doomsday will have Tom Holland Spider Man
You're right.
and Robert Downey Jr. and
You're
Chris
right.
Evans and Chris Hemsworth and Mark Ruffalo and go down the list of
You're right.
Pedro Pascal, all the top actors in Hollywood. Here's the thing: it's the Super Bowl. Like people do still care. Like everyone's checked out the MCU. Everyone's always loved Spider Man. That's never changed. But people tune in when it's the Avengers, without a doubt. Like the even just seeing the when they were doing the cast announcements with all the chairs and everything. Like people were talking about that.
hmm
It's kind of wild. And then again, RDJ coming back.
We'll see how they
People
build hype. We'll see how they build the hype.
people love them. Again, these trailers have come out. I've heard different things. Again, you and I haven't been too enamored by it, but um, I mean, you can't deny like it's appealing to see. Okay, Captain America's coming back. Thor once again coming back. You have the old X-Men coming back. So I think it's just everyone's coming together. Even if you didn't care about like half of the MCU, the half that you did care about and watch is going to be there. So yeah, it's just going to be a massive event film. Every single Avengers has grossed over 1 billion, right? Back in
Mhm.
2012, it
Of
was,
course.
I think, in the top five when it first came out. It was like 1.3 billion. Next one went even higher despite being less beloved. Then obviously Infinity War and Endgame, the biggest event films of event films, both made over 2 billion. Endgame, for a short time, was able to pass Avatar to become the highest grossing film, over 2.7 or 2.8 billion. So imagine that. Like everything you're saying for Spider Man is true. Now times that by 10 with all the Avengers.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
You do have a point, though, of the quality. Again, we'll see with Spider Man Brand New Day. Um, I think, again, it'll be solid enough. It'll be satisfying.
Yeah.
For Doomsday, though, it could be a total mess. It could be absolutely
I
insane.
think it will be a total mess.
But they've done it before, right? Like they had Infinity War and Endgame, and they pulled it off. They stuck the landing, which is again one of the most impressive things.
Yeah, but they have
for them to do.
so much work to do with such little setup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the issue because the road they've paved here is
How
not
does Captain
as
America come
overseen.
back? Where's Chris Hemsworth been? Where's Mark Ruffalo been? How does Spider Man fit into all of this? You know, how is Iron Man now? How is RDJ now? Doctor Doom. Like they have so much work to do to explain everything they've set up that a good chunk of that movie is just going to be exposition and explaining, just catching people up to the work that they've done to go from point A to point B to make a movie.
Yeah, they
And
could do that, but I don't know. They may do some shortcuts here and there.
the
Uh,
shortcuts are going to be what makes it bad. It's just not going to make sense.
yeah,
You get to Avengers Infinity War, that has been set up for 10 years, you know? They put in work for 10 fucking years to get there. They put in no years to get to this point, okay? They've done very little set. They were setting up something completely different up until this point and then
yeah,
changed gears when Jonathan Majors had controversy.
indeed.
Instead of
Again,
just
you're not wrong.
recasting Kang. They could have just recast Kang.
They could have. I
which I
think
think would have been fine.
I think it'll definitely be messy for sure. But again, I
Yeah.
think just it's kind of a too big to fail situation where
I mean, it will
we're,
make money. It will
people are going to
be
go
in
out
the
and see
top
it.
two.
We may see again if it's bad. I think you'll see the effects on the following movie, but
Hmm.
this one again, I think just the novelty of it. Like people are going to go out there and be like, okay, even if
Sure.
it's not as hype
Again,
as the other ones, we're going to want to see Cap come back, and there's going to be fan service moments
of course.
of all that. And so I think they'll do a good enough job of making it making it appealing to the mainstream, even if on the critical front or people that want a little bit more other movies,
Yeah, I mean, this will be a big movie.
they might be desiring more. But yeah, as far as like a popcorn film, I think they've for the most part cracked the code, like the Russo brothers, and like, they're gonna make sure it's watchable and enjoyable.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why I think 1.5 billion for Doomsday is really, really likely. And then we'll see. With quality, could it go up? Could it go higher? We'll
We'll
have
see.
to check out. But again, Infinity War and Endgame obviously went bonkers. They went insane. We'll have to look at the openings because again, both of those kind of broke records with them. But I feel like as well, you're gonna have a huge, huge opening. And we're just gonna see how the holds fare, and then whether it's like a worldwide phenomenon as well. But all right, our next two. So this is gonna piss me off because
Yeah.
the past 2 years, your wins have come from Pixar sequels that have massively overperformed. Inside Out 2, insane run in the summer, broke records for highest animated
Called it.
film. Um, and then Zootopia 2 did the same
Outperformed
thing. I guess not
Avengers
Pixar,
or
but Disney.
Avatar.
And then it was able to once again break the record for like highest grossing animated film,
Yeah,
Hollywood at least.
sounds right.
So that's insane. And so here I'm looking at Toy Story 5, part of a beloved franchise.
Yeah,
Not one dud in that whole thing.
correct.
Again,
Absolutely.
Toy Story 1, all time classic. Toy Story 2, all time classic. Toy Story 3, all time classic. Toy Story 4,
Really solid.
classic. I don't know if it's all time. We'll have to see. We
It's
can
just solid.
review.
It's just
We
very
can go back and review it, but way better than we thought, right? And still
Yeah,
kind of like
absolutely.
a perfect way to tie the bow.
And it made $1 billion.
And it made $1 billion, as did Toy Story 3. And here's the thing: this franchise is older than us
Yes,
by a few years.
absolutely.
So it's like people that were kids when we weren't alive have attachment. We have attachment. Kids born well after us now have attachment, right? So it's like every millennials, Gen Z, and the new crop of kids coming up, everyone has their own film that they're attached to. And then all the parents for all these kids, probably still were like, okay, like this is top tier stuff. And the millennials now have their own kids. So like everyone can be invested in this, right? Toy Story 5, by all accounts, again, it looks like they have another great idea.
Yeah, I think it's
They went
solid.
back to the well and we were all, eye rolling, but they have a good idea for it.
I had no doubt.
Very topical. And then, if they capture that magic once again, is it going to be able to hit a crazy overperformance and run up the numbers
No,
well beyond $1 billion? That's what I'm wondering about. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think it's hitting 1.1 at the height. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? In the world of nostalgia versus relevancy between Toy Story 5 and now Super Mario Galaxy, I think relevancy wins out this time. Just because we've already tried with nostalgia for Toy Story twice. We tried with Toy Story 3. That was only a couple years after Toy Story 2 had come out. It was fantastic. People loved it. Well beloved, made $1 billion, which was huge at that time, and won out like huge Oscars. Big beloved film. Tried to get nostalgia for Toy Story 4. That's 8 years later. That's a significant amount of time. That's an Inside Out 2 amount of gap in time. And it made the same
9
amount of money.
years, yeah, exact amount.
Made $1 billion. So I think at this point, if it was going to do numbers, it would have done numbers. And so I think Toy Story 5 will hit its 1 billion and maybe go a little bit past just because it's been a few years. I think it may be the highest grossing film in the franchise, but I don't think it's going to do like Zootopia 2 numbers. I don't think it's going to hit like 1.6 or 1.7,
Yeah, that's
But
the
Mario,
question. Because with Toy Story 5, you're right about that. Of like, we've had the sequels. It's been a threequel and a fourquel, where they did extremely well, but again, it wasn't like a crazy overperformance. Although I'd have to look at what Toy Story 2 got to see the gap from Toy Story 3. Yeah, Inside Out 2 and Inside Out and Zootopia both came out mid
Hmm.
to late 2010s. It was the original films, and they both did really well. Inside Out had like the 800 mil. Zootopia obviously crossed a billion, and then there's a long gestation period for the sequel, which like built hype, nostalgia was there, all of that. Here's the thing, though. I think it may apply to Toy Story because, again, a kid growing up, you see only Toy Story 4, right? If you saw Inside Out and
Hmm.
Zootopia as kids, you also saw Toy Story 4 as a kid.
Right.
Then you could go back and see the other movies, but it's like that was your film. Like it's not like you're like, oh, and I'm hyped for Toy Story 4 because I saw Toy Story 3 in theaters and now I'm hyped to see that one. It's like, no, this is gonna be their follow up to Toy Story 4. That was their entry point. And
I don't
now
think anybody
we've waited
entered the
7
Toy
years.
Story franchise on Toy Story 4 and is now hyped for Toy Story 5. I think there have been too many other kids' movies at this point that they have more nostalgia for than Toy Story. If Toy Story 4 was their entryway, I think you and I had nostalgia when Toy Story 4 was coming out because Toy Story 1, 2, and 3 were movies that we grew up on. We saw Toy Story 3 in theaters as like
Yeah.
10-year-olds. I don't think there's anybody who went and saw Toy Story 4 who is now nostalgia enough as an adult or a young adult to see Toy Story 5. I think there are other kids' movies that are more important to them at this point, like Inside Out 2, like Zootopia. These are the movies that were popular and huge that they are growing up on. Toy Story 4, I don't think was popular enough as an individual film to constitute a nostalgia based run for Toy Story 5. Though I
Why
think
wouldn't it?
Toy Story 5 will, because I just don't think it was popular enough. I think it was
But it,
good. I think people
if it
liked
grows
it.
to more than Zootopia and Inside Out during that time, and again, we're talking about like the people that are
It grows more
their
because
first
we were
film.
nostalgic from Toy Story 3. Not because kids went out and wanted to see Toy Story 4 and became nostalgic for the Toy Story franchise.
I think
I think the
doesn't rely
nostalgia
just
factor
on us.
already applied to Toy Story 4. I think you can't double it and give it to the next person for Toy Story 5. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think you can. I think that's
I
exactly.
don't think it's gonna
There's
happen.
multiple generations that are going to play into it, and again, you have
Had
to look.
you had the first pick and we come down to this pairing, would you have picked Mario or Toy Story 5?
I would pick Mario,
Why?
but
Why?
we'll get to that in a second. But the other thing I want to say, 2019 was an insane year. There were like $9 billion films.
Yeah, this is
So
true.
Toy Story 4 also was in a more crowded environment. Like that was when you could have a stacked summer and everything's actually like crushing.
But between Mario and Minions 3, this is a pretty stacked year for animated films.
Oh, 100%. And we've seen with these past 2 years, animated films are like more surefire hits than we would
They're
expect. Again, they've
juggernauts,
been
yeah.
overperforming. But that's a new trend, right? Like the crazy overperformance of 1 or 2 films wasn't like a thing. Again, 2019, we had many films that were able to do
This is
great.
true.
And there's a spectrum there. In game, obviously, was crazy.
You're absolutely
There's a
right,
lot of
yeah.
1 billion. We've seen, again, from No Way Home, Top Gun Maverick, Barbie, seen these like films that go on a crazy overperformance run.
Yeah.
Kind of the only film to do that. We've had like, okay, 2 or 3 billion.
But it's because of
each year.
quality. Quality is what gives it that crazy run. You know what I'm saying?
That is true. That's the other factor. And so that's why, so Mario, not the greatest film. It was, again,
You're
one of those
right.
like popcorn films, enjoyable enough in theaters, but it wasn't, crazy on quality. Toy Story 5, that's why I'm thinking like, okay, Inside Out 2, a long period of time in between, great deliveries. Zootopia 2, I don't even think was that like well beloved, but good enough, and people were
That one's an anomaly. Inside Out 2 was like rehashing the same plot, but it was like serviceable. Zootopia 2 was like almost doing the same thing, but less serviceable than Inside Out 2. I can't believe it made so much money. It's crazy.
I'm telling you, again, China made like 600 billion China. And so that's the other factor
Insane.
too. Like Toy Story 5, how's that gonna play? But I think the quality factor, I'm like, they could for a 5th time. That's the other thing. Like, can they stick the landing 5 times in a row? I don't know. We'll have to see. But so I'm hoping that the quality is gonna be there. Interesting idea. It's gonna be a fresh new take. And I do think because there's been on Disney Plus, I don't know the popularity of it, but Forky and whatnot, like they've had these new characters. It's the new kid Bonnie, right? So I do think people that come in on Toy Story 4, like they'll have a nostalgia because it's like it is a new era for them. It's a new kid. It's a new collection of toys. So I think it will work well enough. Lightyear came out a few years ago though, bombed, didn't do great. Different buzz, different type of world, different type of approach, but you have to keep that in mind as well. Toy Story, it's one of the most recognizable, but people like talking emotions and talking pets more than they do talking toys at this point. I don't know. We've seen it too much. I don't know. So Mario,
Are you saying that
your
Zootopia is
selection.
pets?
Animals. I mean, you know what I mean.
They're independent.
Either
I'm
way,
not going to defend Zootopia.
let's release
I'm not gonna be
the
that guy.
Avatar, what we could out of the Avatar thing, which started because of Zootopia. But anyway, Mario,
No.
talk about your selection for Super Mario Galaxy.
I think it's just the better choice. I think you would agree. I think it just has a higher chance of making more money. It made 1 point
It has a higher
almost
floor.
yeah, it has made almost what 1.4 the first one did.
Yeah, maybe 1.3.
Something like that,
5.
yeah. This one's almost guaranteed to make more. It's a bigger cast, it's a bigger universe. They're stepping up the game. They're putting more behind it because now it's more guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Like the first one was a bit of a gamble, not really, just because Hollywood's scared of relatively original products. But this one has a guaranteed floor of like 1.3. I think it will exceed that. I think in this era of animated movies like going to the sun and back, going crazy, I think this will be one of those ones that launches. I think internationally it will do crazy numbers, especially in the Asian market, in China and Japan and things like that. I think this movie will go bonkers over there, and here domestically it's going to be crazy. I just think there's no limit to what this franchise could specifically do because of how popular Mario is and how much they're putting behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. Again, I
Yeah.
was thinking, I'm just like, if I pick Mario, it's gonna do extremely solid.
Yeah.
Get 1.2 billion or something, and then you'll pick Toy Story 5, and that'll get 2 billion somehow. So now I picked Toy Story 5. It's gonna get
gonna
1
tank.
billion, and then Super Mario Bros.
It was going to make like 1.6 or something.
1.8 billion. Like, great.
Highest grossing
So-
animated movie of all time.
Yeah,
Super Mario
3 years in
Galaxy.
a row, you'll break the record. So, I mean, yeah, it looks, again, just visually, it's stunning. Like the illumination animation that they do. For
Yeah.
apparently much less money than the Pixar budgets.
Mhm.
It looks incredible. Again, huge cast. They got Yoshi in there now. They got
Exactly.
Rosalina.
Donald Glover's playing Yoshi.
Yeah, and then
Isn't that crazy
kind of, why not? And then
at this point?
yeah, it's just they go straight to another like massive property, the Super Mario Galaxy stuff. So yeah, I think it'll be.
And talk about nostalgia.
Extremely
Those
well
games came out when Toy Story 3 came out, just about like the first Super Mario Galaxy. That was on the Wii, that's nostalgia, bro.
Yeah,
People love Mario Galaxy, and those are older games. Like that is from my childhood. That's big time nostalgia.
right. I mean, either way, it's just Mario is a huge property, so
Mario is a huge property.
either way, they're gonna pull people in. So yeah, we'll see how that fares out. Okay, the next pairing was Minions and Odyssey. So again, I was looking at this. Minions, the most consistent franchise I think we've ever had.
Yeah.
Every single film, like the past 3 or 4 films, have made over 900 million.
Yeah.
It's been like a perfect like.
It's up there with the
950
Jurassic franchise.
to 1.1 billion range. It's like absurd.
Yeah.
You went for this to get a solid, reliable hit.
I needed a good third. This is a good third. This is a solid. This is going to boost me up.
Because again, it's guaranteed 900 million, and then extra 200 million in there maybe could get.
Yeah, depending on the quality or what else is out at the time. A couple other variables, but guaranteed 900 million.
Yeah, very solid. So I went with the Odyssey, which like, I'm just thinking, I'm like the hype has to be there. Oppenheimer,
Yeah,
900 million.
but that had a Barbie factor.
A little bit, but I mean, it didn't affect it that much. Like people,
There's no way that movie crosses $900 million if not for the Barbenheimer effect. It would have been a $600 million movie.
Maybe
There are so many people who saw that movie just for the bit of Barbenheimer that only wanted to see Barbie. There's absolutely no way
I
people
don't
were going to
think
go
so.
see
I
Oppenheimer.
think a lot of that came out in the opening weekend. That's why it was so huge for both of them. But I think on its own merits, it was able to become a juggernaut. And
I
then
disagree.
again, there's no way people. I mean, a little bit for sure. It played into it as far as people's awareness.
gave it
People still had to
attention.
go. It's a 3-hour movie. People are not for the bit going to go and watch a 3-hour movie
Yes, they
a lot of it in
will.
black and white that's just talking and whatnot.
Carlos flew to New Jersey for a bit. People will do anything for a bit. Are you kidding me?
You're talking about one guy known for certain bits. Most people are not going to spend their hard-earned money to go do 3 hours for a movie they don't actually want to watch. They wanted to watch it. They knew Nolan. They know
Of
his
course, they
reputation.
wanted to
They were
watch it.
interested in the story. They liked RDJ. They wanted to go see this, and then people really liked it, and so people got to talk about it, and other people got interested. So take that, right? Nolan's reputation is at an all-time high. He's the most bankable director we have, bar
Yeah.
none. And now he's got the Odyssey, the OG like story,
Mhm.
like the classic tale. So it looks incredible. It's got a phenomenal cast, and it's coming out primetime summer. He's been marketing it already for a year, him and Universal. So
Yeah.
this is going to be massive. It is
I
going to
mean,
be
I'm
rated
thinking 800
R.
floor. Yeah, I think 800
That's what I'm
million
thinking
floor.
too. Like I'm like 800
Yeah.
mil sounds good, and then think of the potential again. Quality,
It could go crazy. Yeah,
huge.
you're absolutely right.
Of international appeal again, since the story is, when that I guess just the foundations of the story. So could also have that worldwide appeal in the way that Oppenheimer did. So yeah, even though it's got the R rating, so it's gonna have a little bit of cap on there. We've seen Deadpool and Wolverine gets a 1.3 billion. So I'm looking for that range, 800 to 1.3. I think is what I put. Yeah, but 850 mil to 1.4 bill.
Yeah, I think that's a solid range.
By
It'll
range,
definitely fall in there.
and I think it will cross a billion.
We'll see. That
Yeah.
depends entirely on the international factor.
It does.
I don't know how many people outside of the U.S. want to watch Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. We'll
People
see.
know him, man. Again, his films.
People do know him, absolutely.
Inception,
But the Odyssey
Interstellar
specifically, we'll see.
have all been huge, and this one again just has that massive, blockbuster.
But I think the sci-fi appeal is there, and this is more of a historical
sci-fi
epic.
tends to not be. You got 770 mil, I think, from.
I just don't know how much the international markets care about historical epic that's set in Greece.
Right.
But we'll see.
But again, there will be a little bit of a fantastical element to it as well. So it's not
absolutely
just historical epic. It'll be like, massive blockbuster with
mythological creatures and stuff. Yeah,
got a Cyclops and all that.
Sure.
So I think that'll help also make it more.
We'll see.
So Minions guaranteed hit 900 mil for sure.
Yeah,
smaller range. Odyssey, bigger range, maybe lower floor, but also a higher ceiling.
Correct.
So
Absolutely. 100%.
How it actually shakes out. But two good picks. That'll go head to head in July. All right, next. You threw me for a loop, honestly. I think this is where you will fail until you inevitably somehow pick a wild card replacement that also does gangbusters.
You think Supergirl's not gonna do good?
Not even in the slightest. The fact that Superman got 600 million underperformance. We talked about this. It's like wasn't the factor, but I thought it would have done better in my roster, and it was well received. Supergirl, which looks good. I loved her introduction in Superman, but it's like, okay, how many people saw that? Right, her introduction to Superman, not as much as we thought, and then it's also coming out in a pretty crowded summer. It's part of the DCU. Again, if Superman, maybe you can think that turned people's opinions around, but I just think enough people saw it. So
I think that's my argument is Superman, people were a little bit hesitant because of the history of the DC movies. And I think Superman was proven evidence that James Gunn is doing pretty good things and people should go and want to see these things. And I think Supergirl is the next step up from that. It's going to have Jason Momoa in it. It's going to have a lot of characters that people want to see. I think the hype is coming around it. I think people like the Supergirl character. I think we'll do good money. I think we'll make solid numbers. Maybe not as much as Moana, but we'll see. I think it's a toss-up.
So what do you think, though? What is your range? Because I was thinking, this was
my range is like 400 to 700.
This wasn't even on my list. I think it's got like a 300 to 500 mil range.
We'll see, man.
So I don't know. This one, though.
I can always drop it. It's in the middle of the year. I can drop it and pick another one. I have a couple others still that I can pick from.
That is true. Yeah, so I'm surprised you went with that instead of.
It comes out the day before my birthday.
Old picks.
It'll be a little birthday treat. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not worried. I've always used my wild card pick every year. I think.
And the one you use it on.
Yeah, you almost never use yours, and so I'm willing to throw in a chance.
You did a couple times. It's just never mattered.
Yeah. I'm willing to use mine, especially with a movie that's coming out in the middle of the year. There's still many options in the second half that I can pick from.
But yeah, so I went with Moana.
Good choice.
Hopefully, I'm not going to use a wild card. Here's the thing: Moana on Disney Plus is always like the highest grossing thing. We've seen just last year, Moana. Well, 2 years ago, Moana 2 hit a billion, despite
Oh yeah, it did.
being a TV series turned into a movie at last minute. And then
Crazy.
Lilo and Stitch just last year made over a billion.
Yep.
So Moana, live action, they're gonna have The Rock, reprising his role from the animated films. Um, it's definitely the more beloved of Moana versus Moana 2.
Hmm.
Great songs and everything. I think people want to go and relive it, and then especially again, like all the kids that grew up on that,
Yeah.
gonna want to go and see it. Again, there's maybe the factor of, is it too soon? We just had a Moana movie. I don't think so. I don't think it can be oversaturated.
I think
I think
I
this
think
one's
I think
gonna
it'll
be
do good numbers. Yeah.
huge. So I'm looking at again another 800 to 1.1 bill film here. That's my thought
We'll
process.
see.
What do you think?
We'll see.
We'll see.
I'm worried about the oversaturated factor, but we'll see.
I still think it's good because there's no other live action things coming out this year specifically.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, this is the one to take the crown. I'm banking my weight on animated films more so than live action remakes.
Right.
So we'll see.
Okay. And then your next pick?
My last pick was Dune 3. Let's just hope it comes out this year. Let's just hope it's good.
So yeah, hoping it comes out. Yeah, I think we'll see what he does, but the source material doesn't lend itself quite as much to a big blockbuster as Dune 2 did. But I'm sure he's going to throw some things in there. And then it's also just a little more challenging stuff. I mean, there's people, again, I think it's very obvious in Dune 1 and 2, but the whole, warning against hero worship, they have to really communicate that. I mean, that is the point of Dune Messiah.
Yeah.
Like, you can't miss it. And so what they do, the ending, I think it'll be well done and everything, but there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be upset at it. They're gonna be like, I feel bad leaving the theater instead of hyped. And so, yeah. So I don't know how that'll play. It's also going right up against Avengers Doomsday. Again, will they make
Correct.
a Doomsday thing happening? I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm caught between, again, like thinking the movie will actually be awesome, but also recognizing it'll have less mass appeal than like Dune Part 2 did.
Correct.
And also, it's in a crowded, very crowded December, going head to head with Avengers Doomsday. However, it will have like the IMAX stuff, I think. So I don't know. It's a tough selection there, but I wanted to keep that open as like a wild card pick at the end of the year. I wanted to try some other things out. And you left Michael on the table. I'm surprised by this.
I did.
That was my
I'm not putting my money on that anymore.
Michael or Moana. Here's the thing. Again, I don't know. It could be a dud, but again, the biggest musical artist, bar none, definitely has a lot of controversy tied to him, but his music still plays.
Controversy tied to him. Controversy now tied to the movie. I don't know, man.
The movie itself, yeah.
It turned into a dumpster fire after I picked it last year, so I don't know.
I warned you, or I'm
scared of it.
Gave you the heads up, and now I'm choosing it, but only because again it's coming out early in the year, and I'll definitely be able to use a wild card. So that's why I was like, I want to be able to have.
Yeah, that's a good thought process. Yeah.
And so it could go crazy. Like it could. Bohemian Rhapsody made over 900 million.
Yeah.
This is Michael Jackson, and the trailers look kind of good. Like they're well put together. They're playing all the hits. So I'm like, I can see people just going out and being like, this rocks. Like, why not? So I don't know. I just have a feeling that it will do pretty well. I think Elvis made not even 400 million. That's also, one of the most recognizable artists. And so there's a huge gap between Elvis and Bohemian Rhapsody. It's like, where will Michael fall? Somewhere in there? Or will it go beyond? I don't know. But
if I had to guess, I would guess 500. I think around 500.
I think that would be solid. But then if it gets that, then it's like, well, now I'm in a tough position.
It's not bad for a fifth choice.
Do I drop it? Or, because remember last year, all their films made over 500 mil.
Yeah.
This
That's
time
the goal.
Again, it needs to be the same thing, right? You need to be over 600 mil or you ain't doing much. So,
yeah.
So then now I have the question of, if it does flop, what are my wildcard options? Here's here's where my heart was also lying. Mandalorian and Grogu comes out later in May. People be hating on this film, and I think it's actually going to do very well. I don't know where it's going to go, but people are talking about this like it's going to be 200 mil, 300 mil. That's insane. This is not going to be Solo, a Star Wars story. It's not going to be, the mainline Star Wars that get a billion, but like I low key think this could go to 700, 800. It's Baby Yoda. It's Baby Yoda. It looks like a fun classic adventure. The latest trailers look good. Again, I'm like, maybe I'm too, wishful. I'm hoping that's gonna be great. And I'm projecting that onto like it's gonna, have a great word of mouth and everyone's gonna go and see it and give it a chance again. But again, it's been so many years since a Star Wars film came out. It's the most recognizable property that they have outside of the Skywalkers. It is Baby Yoda plus cool bounty hunter and some sick armor, played by Pedro Pascal, who is very oversaturated at the moment, but still beloved. So I don't know. I think there's a chance it can actually do well and get again a 600 to 800 mil. And I would want to support that, but
yeah,
I don't know. It'd be very risky. Again, if Michael is a huge flop, then that'll be good because then I can be like, okay, got to get rid of it. But if it hits that 500 mil, it's like, okay, now do I switch it and then bank that Mando gets that? I don't know. But either way, that's one that you left off the table. How come?
I'm not banking on Star Wars.
Wow.
I'm not doing it.
Crazy.
I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna. It looks like a television show. It looks like a television show they're putting in theaters. I just don't think it looks very good. I don't think you've even really watched much of the end of The Mandalorian. I think it kind of fell off. It is Baby Yoda, but I think the hype is gone. And I think they need to dedicate more attention towards original movie content as opposed to just turning a TV show into a movie. And they're not doing that. So I'm not putting my money on Star Wars.
Wow.
Not at this time.
Wow. Okay. So then what else were you looking at?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We both looked at the same list. Just talk about what was close to making the cut. I'll tell you one that would have been a cool pick. Again, I don't think ultimately it would pay off, but Project Hail Mary.
Sure, yeah, that would have been a wild card.
It's gonna hit 500 to 600 million. I'm telling you.
You think so?
Would be a very solid thing. And so that was also one that I wanted to. I was like, I want to do a Hail Mary. Like, I want to throw something on there. And Michael is the one that has like the biggest potential, but it's supposed to be extremely good. And so I think, the word of mouth will carry it to a really, really solid performance worldwide. But it's just too close, and it's too. Again, I'm like, will it really catch fire and go super, super far? I don't know. I think I got to bank on Michael Moore for that. But that's one that I wanted to root for as well and put on my roster. But alas, could not be done.
Yeah. Anything else to say about the 2026 box office draft? Do you feel confident this is the year you win?
I do. Yeah, I think again, I'll have to just play it smart as we go through the year because you're going to use your wild card.
Probably.
I don't know what you think you're doing, not mentioning the possible options, but I know what they are as well, and so we're going to see. You don't want to call your shot out here, though. That's the thing.
No, I don't want to call my shot out here. I'm going to keep my cards close to my chest. Okay.
Well, there you go. But yeah, there's some options that are there, which are available. Should
somewhat
it be necessary?
Sure.
And so we'll just have to see how it goes down. But I think, I'm confident in it. I think
you were confident last year.
Well, that's very true. But I do think, I don't know, we'll have to see. The Mario and Toy Story. Toy Story does underperform. That'll be sad.
Michael might underperform. That'll also be sad.
But again, that one's set aside for like a wild card. So that one's not a real pick.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's real, but it's like, we'll see if it materializes. But if not, no harm, no foul.
We'll see.
It's part of the strat, So we shall see. But definitely going to be one of the highest grossing, if not the highest grossing years for the box office draft, which will be exciting.
That's all the time we have. If you'd like to give your thoughts on the show, you can email us at theboxofficeshowpod@gmail.com.
Now, theme of the show, Sundown by Joseph McDade.
And if you like the show, please give us 5 stars on whatever podcast app you're listening to, and be sure to tune in next week. Have a great rest of your day.